Hi, there's a vibe from Scrappy Mania, and today I got a very easy project for you. I'm going to create some bookmarks, and these are going to be given out for some of my friends. And I'm putting their favorite scripture on the back of the bookmark. So I'm using these stamps by Prima, and these are the Creating in Faith. And I have Eve, Mary, Esther, and Ruth. And I also am going to be using some of these Altenew stamps, and this is the painted butterflies. So I'm going to be using the outline because I'm using watercolor pencils. And then I'm using A Beautiful Day, and this is also by Altenew. And I'm going to be using mainly the leaves, the outline leaves, and these other things there. I'm using hot press watercolor paper 6x8, and the reason why I'm using hot press because it gives a nice crisp image. And I'm cutting my paper down. Now I did cut it in half because I was 6x8, so I cut it 3x8, and it's a little too big. So I went ahead and cut it down to 3, so I cut it in half because it's 6x8, so half of it. And then I cut down to 6 3/4, so that way it's a little smaller and it's perfect for my image, but not so huge that she's kind of lost in that image. So I'm going to go ahead, and I went ahead and used some paper, and I glued the saying in the back from John 3:16. And then I'm going to put this on here, and I'm going to stamp around it. And I'm using some distress ink because I am going to use my watercolor pencils. So I want it to blend, and I didn't want to really have a black outline. So I'm using peel paint for the flower, for the leaves actually. And for this, I'm going to use vintage photo, oops, for my butterflies. Let me set that aside to dry very well before I kind of do anything to it. But I'm going to go ahead and use this one that's already had a chance to dry. And I'm going to bring over my watercolor pencils. These are from Spectral Noir, and these are the Aqua Blends. And these are the primaries, and then I got the essentials, which is more the skin tone. So I'm going to go ahead and use the primaries. I got my paper there. And I'm going to go ahead and start coloring my butterfly in. So one trick that helps me with watercolor pencils is that I put my pencil on a flat angle, and then I lightly go over my image to transfer some of the color on the image, but I do not use it as a regular pencil and really put pressure, because you do create grooves on your paper and you do create harsh lines when you do put pressure on it. The other trick that I do is that I take my paintbrush and I use the tip of my watercolor pencil to transfer that color onto my image like you see there. And I do most of the coloring with my paintbrush instead of my pencil. And it works pretty well when you do that. Also, another thing that I do is I like to dry between layers. I'm kind of impatient, so I go ahead and dry between the layers. And then now I'm going over my image, and this is actually Esther. And I'm lightly using the pencils here, the skin tone pencil, and just using my paintbrush to transfer some of that color onto her skin tone. and also onto her hair and the other areas of this image. And then I wanted to give it a little background, so I went ahead and started with some yellow to give that highlight behind her. And then I'm using some blue and a little bit of green and a little bit of red, just to give it a little bit of accents on the different areas. I'm also making sure that it dries. I'm using my hole punch, and actually I'm using the Cropper from We Are Memory Keeper. And I wanted to put some charms, so I'm going to dangle some charms on the ribbon, and I want a different color ribbon also. And once I'm done with that, this bookmark is going to be complete. And these are perfect little stocking stuffers or presents for coworkers, and they're pretty economical, and it's also special because you made it handmade. Okay, I'm done with this tag. So put some charms on there, and then the tag on the back with the same watercolor with my Altenew stamps. And then this is Mary. That's a Mary stamp from Prima. So I hope you like this video, and thank you for watching. Bye now.